Senator Sani Musa is Chairman Senate Committee on Finance. He joins me live on the program this evening. Distinguished Senator, thank you for joining us on the show. The queues are back, and you're welcome. It's insult and injury for Nigerians who are still battling with the removal of fuel subsidy. What do you think is really happening?
You see, this government came in with a decisive policy of removing subsidy from the petroleum prices, which is very important. And for me, I believe that no country will be able to sustain what we've been taking away as a name of subsidy. If you look at the economy today, or if you look at some years back, you will realize that government has been paying and subsidizing these petroleum products, of which, if you look at the consumption volume, the consumption volume was so high, almost about 66 or 65 million liters per day. But today, what is happening? You will see that the consumption has become very low. And the reason is that those that used to smuggle it out are no longer benefiting, because then they will smuggle it out, make more money, and at the same time come back and collect subsidy. So what the government did, they did it in the right direction. But what we need to do as a nation is to sit down and look at all our economic policies, which of course this government have done it. And with the coming of President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, you will see that a lot of things are changing. As chairman of Committee on Finance, I have seen what has been happening, especially around the GOEs, NNPC, and the rest of it. So what he has done in order to checkmate this country from also going bankrupt, the need to remove the subsidy was very important, and he did that. And what we need to do is look at all avenues possible that will create these palliatives in order to cushion the hardship.
I hear you clearly, distinguished, and I understand, the position of this government as regards fuel subsidy removal. But what many Nigerians don't understand right now is that the news coming from the NNPC and the retailers aren't adding up. NNPC is saying that it has enough in stock, it has fixed the issue, of logistics that caused the scarcity. But retailers are saying they're not getting the commodity. And for Nigerians out there who now have to pay as much as 2,000 naira in some cases per liter, it's mind-boggling. How do you think government should be responding at this time?
The government is actually working day and night to make sure that everything is stable. NNPC have made their statements, and I want to believe that NNPC will not make that statements if these petroleum products are not there. But what I'm made to understand is that most of the dealers were holding the petrol, thinking that there will be an increase in petroleum prices. So in order for them to make so much of gains. So I don't think there is scarcity. I mean, this scarcity is a natural thing in the fact that the commodity is not there. I believe the commodity is there, but the dealers are not ready and willing to sell at this moment because they had rumors that NNPC may increase fuel prices.
All right.
And I want to take it. And the Nigerian situation all the time, people want to take advantage of situations like this.
The NNPC spokesperson last week did say that there are no plans to increase the price, which is also suspect because with the removal of fuel subsidy, we expect that market forces should decide the price and not what NNPC says. But Senator Musa, because of our time, let us touch on other issues very quickly. We're back discussing the instability and continuous depreciation of the naira after we witnessed a level of appreciation that got many Nigerians excited. How's your committee reacting to this, and what policy options are you exploring?
What the committee is looking at is looking at our policies, again, our physical policies, to see where we need to make some amendments. But the most important thing is that we need to focus on agriculture. We need to make NNPC to show us their books. We need to know how much production they are making. Because a country like Nigeria today, we should be producing at least 2.5 to 3 million barrels per day. We can go back to OPEC and say, look, we will need to strengthen our economy, and we are ready to produce this. And I don't know why we opted today. I mean, even getting the target of 1.78 is almost very difficult for us. So there's need for us, as a committee, we are going to call on the NNPC to find out actually what is the output that we are producing. And if we are producing to that limit that we were given by OPEC, so why is the problem? What is the problem? Because our main source of foreign exchange is the crude oil that we sell. So this is the time that Nigerians need to look inwardly and see how we can diversify ourselves by making sure that the agricultural sector is focused on. What we need to do is open more lands, build warehouses, food laboratories. We must do it. Commercial farming must come back. We must mechanize our farms. So there is no alternative. And then we look at the production sector as well. The small and medium enterprises, see how they can enhance production. Because look, we cannot sit down and think crude oil will always bring dollars or foreign exchange into the market and stabilize it. It cannot. We need to produce locally, and so that we will have a lot of things that we can export and bring in some foreign exchange. And at the same time, investors will want to see how far we are going in other sectors. We cannot just tie ourselves. In the last 10 years, there have never been any meaningful investment in the oil and gas sector. Why is it like that? We must check out these things and find ways that we will meet.
We might have to add to that, Senator, that we need to fix the technology as well to get it running at par with international standard. But we are following closely the reaction of the Senate. I understand that Senator Musa is back. We lost it for a minute. We've been running the January to December budget cycle for a while, I believe since the last administration. Let's quickly explore why you think we are yet to begin implementation of the 2024 budget.
The 2024 budget has been passed. It has been assented by Mr. President, and very soon, at this moment, I know that all the MDAs are working towards implementation. And I don't think we have any issue regarding the budget. And I believe that that's why the instability that we're having in the currency, in the dollar exchange, because it's one of the parameters that we use in bringing up the 2024 budget. I believe that if we first look at the physical policies and see how we can mitigate the issue of inflow of this foreign exchange. And then we also have to look at our debt management. We have to see where we can work towards stabilizing so that we'll be able to fund our budget as well. So the 2024 budget is still on course, and I believe that what the National Assembly have done is in the good interest of this country. And I believe that Mr. President has the good interest of this country, and the policies he has already put in place policies that in the nearer future, we will see that this economy is transformed. And that is the basis of it. The 2024 budget is completely different from the others. You can see what the capital allocation is. The capital expenditure in the 2024 budget has never been there since the coming of democratic rule in this country. So I believe that we will be able to fund the budget You can imagine how much we've been able to source and get as revenue inflows from the non-oil sector. Imagine we explore the agricultural sector and farm very well in this country, produce very well, process it, at least process it, and possibly export this things. We'll make a lot of money from there, and we'll be able to to fund our budget, and we'll be able to put infrastructures in this country.
So, Senator Musa, the Senate resumes tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about, because with the business of lawmaking also comes the politics of things. There are threats about there are news about planned impeachment, about the Senate president. What are you hearing about this, and what do you make of these threats to Akpabio's presidency?
I think that is an imagination of the figments of some elements outside the Senate. As far as I know, the Senate is bonded today, and the Senate is a family, and I believe that we're all there for the interests of this country. Collectively, we are working together. The leadership, we do not have any issue with them, and even if we have issues, we are always going into a closed door to resolve issues and move this country forward. I know that the leadership of under His Excellency Godswill Obot Akpabio is bringing his experiences. You can imagine this was once the best governor during his time. He transformed his state, and I believe that if he is coming to the Senate with that kind of aspiration, I believe that things are going to change in this country. And I am telling you, there is no any instability in the Senate today. With the leadership, they are doing very well. The senators as a whole, we are all doing very well. And I believe we are doing everything in the best interest of this country.
Oh, you seem quite confident. Hopefully, that is the position of majority of your colleagues as well. But I'm going to take you.
I'm very sure I'm talking about the majority of the senators. When I talk about majority of the senators, I'm talking about 109 senators of the Federal Republic.
Oh, it's even the whole number that you're talking about. Interesting.
The whole number of senators. I can tell you we are bonded.
All right, distinguished. So I want to take you back to the issue of scarcity, because Ipman just said that it will take another 2 weeks. The perception out there is that the last people to feel the brunt of these are senators themselves. Some of them might even have filling stations, and they have their way around these things. But should Nigerians expect some intervention from the 10th Senate when it resumes tomorrow?
I first of all tell you that I'm not sure if senators run filling stations. Senators are there to make laws for the best interest.
I said own. Are you saying that some of your colleagues don't own filling stations?
No, I don't think. I've not seen any senator that said he owns a filling station. But I know that there are senators that have interests of this country and believe that all the filling stations in this country should have petroleum products for Nigerians to be able to get them affordable. And I want to assure you that the Senate, when we resume tomorrow, we are going to look at all these issues and make sure that we do the best in our own legislative oversights to make sure that everything comes back to normal. But I will assure you that this fuel scarcity is artificial and it's going to come and go.
It also begins, if you agree with me, with some level of transparency and accountability on the part of the players in the industry, because it doesn't speak well that NNPC is saying something, the marketers are, following another narrative entirely.
What I should have expected is that with the removal of the subsidy, the marketers should have been able to gain control of the product, bringing in the products if they are not, and the setting up refineries in this country so that we'll be able to produce locally. I don't see why we should be talking about importation all the time. This country has the capacity, we have the human capital, we have every resources that will be able to put all these refineries back, and we are working towards doing that. And once those things are done, I want the marketers to also give their support, because there's no point. I mean, if these filling stations, they all have fuel, and they are hoarding it, they are not selling it. It's not good for this country. Let all the marketers start selling their fuel, and let's move on. This country will have to change. This administration comes with the mantra of renewing our hopes. And Mr. President is very visible. Today, Mr. President was in Riyadh. You heard what he said. Tomorrow, Mr. President is traveling to Dallas, all for the sake of Nigeria. So why don't we also, these marketers also look at all these things and give the necessary support to this administration? Please let these marketers start selling their petroleum products that they have in stock.
There were huge promises in that regard. From last year, we were told that the PH refinery will start operation by March, but that date has now been rescheduled to the fourth quarter of this year. We're looking forward to it. You called a renewed hope, and Nigerians are really counting on it to see it come into full effect, particularly when it comes to fuel and its availability.
I absolutely believe that NNPC is working towards getting our refineries back on track.
Senator Sani Musa is Chairman, Senate Committee on Finance. Thank you so much for talking to us on the program this evening.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
And that's our show today, everyone. You can watch it again at midnight and at 6 a.m. tomorrow. I am Nifemi Oguntoye.